Call to order the board meeting for Thursday, November 27th. And we'll start off with our land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that this land on which the Sarnia Police Service operates is part of the ancestral land of the Chippewa, Ottawa, and Potawatomi nations, referred to collectively as the Anishinaabe. It is through the connection of the Anishinaabe with the spirit of the land, water, and air that we recognize the unique cultures, traditions, and values. Together as treaty people, we have a shared responsibility to act with respect for the environment that sustains all life, protecting the future for those generations to come. I'll ask if there's any conflict of interest for any board members. Seeing none, we'll move to the for today. A mover and a seconder. Moved by board member Ash, seconded by board member Roberts. All those in favor? And that's approved. And then our minutes from our last meeting on October 30th. Look for a mover and a seconder.
Just one little small thing under number 8, Jocelyn's name doesn't have an S.
All right, thank you. So we'll take that as a an amendment. And with that, did you want to move board member Ash and seconded by board member Gillis? Any further questions or comments on those minutes? Seeing none, I'll call the vote. All those in favor? That's approved. Then that brings us to our monthly operation update.
Morning, Mr. Chair, board. Sorry. I'm happy to announce that on November 19th, the Sarnia Police Service joined the Ontario Provincial Police Provincial Bail Firearms or Bail Compliance Dashboard. So the dashboard is it's a tool that we use to be able to now see people on bail for firearms and crimes against persons types of offenses. So what it does, it's a map and allows the officers to actually visualize to see where these offenders are, so they can do bail compliance. So we are now able to see places that are living in our community. So now it's a situational awareness tool. So we're the 28th service in Ontario to join up, and currently it's just our investigators that have access to it, but all frontline to be able to have that capability, and hopefully within the next few months we'll get there.
Board member Roberts.
Is there a cost?
No cost.
Thank you.
Board member Ash.
So I guess on that, why would everybody be on this?
Everybody meaning
All other services.
so eventually they are. There's a whole onboarding process, and there's some testing and a lot of stuff that has to be done in the background before they get to that point. So we just managed to get in the 28th spot, but eventually agencies across Ontario.
Awesome. Mr. Chair, I'll pick it up from there.
Thank you.
What I tried to include in this month's operational update was the amount of volunteer work our officers are going to participate in through the holiday season. Our officers volunteer in the community for all 12 months out of the year in a variety of different roles, but certainly these are the most public facing ones that are going to be undertaken in November and December. The first one that has already taken place was Cops for Cans, which occurred last weekend. The vice chair was there. I was just speaking to the staff sergeant this morning, and he says that they were able to accumulate just under 14,000 pounds of food for the end. Now, unfortunately, that only equates to 3 weeks worth of food for given the amount of draw that is taking place on that, but it's 3 weeks that we were able to participate with that as well. The next drive, also in support of the Inn of the Good Shepherd, is the Cram the Cruiser event, which is going to take place at Lambton Mall this weekend. And this is where people are invited to donate new toys and other Christmas items to be dispersed within our community. Another big one happening at Lambton Mall is the Cop Shop, which this pairs police officers with deserving students from within our community, one from each school, where they'll spend the bulk of the day together, essentially on a shopping spree sponsored by Lambton Mall. Cumulatively, there's probably hundreds and hundreds of hours that our officers are going to volunteer within just these events alone. None of these are on-duty resources that take place. These are the officers coming on their own time. You'll see a lot of their family members along with them as well to be able to participate in these types of events. So I just wanted to make sure that there was ample community awareness for the amount of time that our officers donate on their own within this community. And then
Also, there was an officer at Pathways Santa shop.
Oh,
And I'd just like to say, every time I walked up and she walked up, I did not get the child. Like,
Oh,
she was
You were
fantastic.
picked.
She had her gear on and every kid was just like, I want to go with her. It was excellent. And she was lovely. Just saying that.
so it's our auxiliary officers also participate in this program. Miss Miller was out for the entire day with us at the Superstore on Saturday. You'll also see our special constables out there, our civilian staff out there. It's not just the officers, it's the entirety of the organization. And then the final thing that I'd like to raise, which actually isn't in the report, but there was certainly ample media release, was the recognition of our two officers, by the Lieutenant Governor of Ontario and the Solicitor General of Ontario Monday in Toronto. I had the fortunate opportunity of attending that event. It is quite the production. And we were very honored to have Eric Ostenfeld and Carl Brown honored with the recipients of the Medal for Police Bravery in Ontario. So again, we put that out in the media, but a significant event, a significant achievement in horrific circumstances for those officers to be recognized. Subject to any questions? That's the.
Did it come with a check?
Sure. No. Plenty of opportunities to ask for something. Didn't go well.
Well, thank you very much. And I'm really impressed with the level of engagement that the community. You know, certainly when we talk about wanting to have a relationship with the community that doesn't appear to be, you know, always the bad guy coming to arrest people, this puts a very positive face on the service. I noticed it too when we have swearing ins and service recognition. Often it'll be articulated the amount of community involvement that specific people have. So we have just a fantastic service. So, and with respect to the officers that were recognized for the bravery, my understanding is that that's a fairly, like, that's not a routine kind of recognition. This is pretty exceptional. I don't know if you could speak to that. Like, it's not as though every service gets to nominate an officer. But
no, it's quite prestigious, and that's what the impression that you get when you even just arrive at the venue. It's not simply just an application and everybody's accepted. They are scrutinized considerably. So they have a panel of people, professionals, who look over each one of the applications. Then there is the vetting process coming back to the service to ensure that the chief is in support of these applications and continues to support them all the way up to the receipt of the medal, even from the time of application. We made this application the better part of a year ago, and then finally having it confirmed there on Monday night. There was 24 recipients between police and fire as they amalgamate them together, as they both fall under the Solicitor General's mandate
across the whole province.
Across the whole
Yes.
province. And
Sorry.
a lot of the incidents that they talk about, we already know about. Even as far away as from Sarnia, I knew exactly what they were talking about with the Ottawa officers recognized or the Kitchener ones recognized. And it is very prestigious, very, very prestigious. Yes. And quite the honor for the service as well.
Board Member Ash?
Through the chair, I just want to commend Staff Sergeant McCabe. He does an amazing job with Cops for Hands. But the feedback from the community members that I spoke to that day, every year that I've done this, there's been at least one negative comment. Like, there's always somebody who flips the bird to us, whatever. Nothing. Every single interaction was positive. How grateful the community is for everything that police service is doing. It was a great day.
Good thing. All right, thank you very much. We'll move on to our third quarter financial report. Look to Kathy for that.
through the chief. At the third quarter, September 30, we're 71% expended over our net budget, which is pretty well where you'd want to be at that point. We're projecting a small operating surplus of 93,000 for the end of the year. As I mentioned in the report, there are lots of variances within the various categories, but we have in our 2026 and 2027 budgets, we've made adjustments so that in further years, we're going to see those reduced, those variances. And so, yeah, at the end of it all, we're looking pretty good for the end of 2025.
While board members are just reviewing, I'll just mention I'm really pleased that once again we see evidence of the Sarnia Police Service really being disciplined in terms of containing costs and whereas other areas are experiencing deficits, there's no deficit here. So that is excellent, and I think we need to celebrate that this morning. Board members, any questions or concerns about the report?
No.
Excellent. Right, seeing none. Thank you very much. And then that brings us to items 8 and 9 on the agenda. This is basically a bit of a report to where we're at. So I'll start with the 2026 budget. So as you'll recall, that $38.7 million was included in the mayoral budget that was presented to council, and council did approve that this past Tuesday. So subject to any potential vetoes, it looks like we're good for the 38.7 million. That's a 6.5% increase from last year. So that certainly is good news. And then maybe I'll just wrap it in with item 9. We'll consider them together. So just for the record, we had asked City Council for capital of $91 million for the police facility. And then the chief and I, we spoke at the grants meeting of City Council, and we suggested that a $25 million amount would allow us to proceed with the first phase. And then on this past Tuesday, the City Council, and I should go back a moment, the 91 million was not included in the mayor's budget, but City Council made an amendment to include an additional $5 million that would allow us to proceed with the initial stages, I guess, of the project. And but we can't celebrate that yet because we understand that there is an option for the mayor to veto that, and that veto date is December 5th. So that's kind of where we're at. I do want to express my appreciation for board members Gillis and McRoberts for supporting this effort at City Council. And Chief, I don't know if you wanted to add anything in addition to that.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. I think it's definitely something we can work with as this moves forward. I think it's an important step to move forward. My concern, and we'll wait to see what manifests, but I may have much more to say in the absence of any forward momentum or solutions to some of the challenges we're facing.
And yes, I was going to ask board members if they wanted to speak to this. Board Member Gillis.
I think the key right here was to get the actual bill out of the unfunded into the funded. Having had experience with doing that during my term of council, that's the momentum that you seek, but it also legitimately. So with that, we'll see what happens until December the 5th, but I feel confident that we've demonstrated that we are not here to rob the entire city of bags and bags of money. We're taking a very structured, staged approach, recognizing that there's a lot of preliminary work before we can get the shovel in the ground, specifically on the land, and to see if the land is even capable of handling something of size. So even that, it's going to be tentative all the way along until the shovel gets in the ground. But this, I think, getting it out of the unfunded to the funded was the first step and the major step.
Thank you. I agreed for sure. Board Member McRoberts, did you, I know you were at the meeting too. Did you want to speak to this topic at all, or?
I just believe that Councillor Gillis wrapped it up. There, I do not believe we had asked for one more penny, that it would have even made it that far. The city is tight right now, and whether that's based on, yes, paying off a debt, but not looking after our assets in, say, the last 60 years. So if that pattern continues, right, this is the best that we could have squeaked out of that. And one more year, and then after that, a couple of years, the debt will be paid off, and then we can start investing in the assets. But it's not looking good right now, and that's not just because of the past 3 years.
Any further questions or comments? Okay, then we'll move on to item number 10. So this is an approval item. There's a briefing note, and I'll speak to that. So we're a proud member of the Ontario Association of Police Service Boards, as well as the regional Zone 6. And so our membership fees are due, and you'll see that there's not surprisingly, there's a small increase from last year, but nothing significant. And so looking for a motion for the board to renew its membership in the OAPSB and Zone 6.
This Zone 6 is lower than it was the previous year.
Yes, it looks like there was a small decrease. And I think the rationale for that was, you'll recall that the OPP detachments were restructured, the boards. And so I think the zone didn't perhaps last year understand fully how much in terms of fees they needed to collect. So this is more of a right sizing. Yeah. A motion to approve. So Board Member Ash moves and Board Member Gillis seconds. Any questions or comments on that? All those in favor? That's approved. Thank you. And then Board Secretary, Joan Knight, did you want to speak to the board meeting schedule?
No, just I presented the suggested dates. If there's any conflicts, you can let me know. We can change that before it posted to the website.
So the pattern of board meeting dates for 2026 is similar to 2025. You'll see that there are some months where the meetings have to call the chair. I think it's important for the public to understand that in addition to these meetings, we often have those meetings that need to be scheduled for various issues that come up. Sometimes we have additional open meetings as well. I think last year, if I'm not mistaken, I think the board met close to 22 times.
Yeah.
So what you're seeing here is really just the
Formal meetings.
Yes, yes. So all right, so I'll look for a motion to approve those. Scheduled. Board Member Ash moves. Board Member McRoberts seconds. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? And that's approved. I will just note as well, because this is the last regularly scheduled open meeting for 2025, that at the January 29th board meeting, we will need to elect a chair and a vice chair. And so that's an annual process. So I'll just put that out to the board for consideration.
Wait, we have a meeting in December.
We have a closed meeting.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Let's move on to the open forum. Boy, that went quickly this morning. Any items for the open forum? Oh. Deputy Chief.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So on Wednesday of next week, the Windsor Police Service is hosting a K-9 graduation program. So I know for sure myself and Deputy Hanson are going to attend and see our new dog as well as Constable Kyle Vance complete the training course in Windsor. So in conjunction with that, on Monday morning, December the 8th at 8:30 a.m., we are going to host a media availability here at the police station to unveil our new K-9. celebrate the development of a canine unit. A canine team is one handler, one dog. So we currently operate in a canine team environment, but we are going to have a full canine unit because once you have 2 officers and 2 dogs, then you can change that designation from that. And we'll be revealing the name of the dog on that morning as well. So we're hopeful that the individual who provided the name for the dog will be able to attend as well, which is likely.
What time is that again?
8:30 Monday morning, December the 8th, in this room, and hopefully weather permitting on the front steps.
Board Member Ash?
Will we have a swearing in ceremony for him as well?
We don't have anything normally planned as of yet. There are some things in the works with respect to doing something in the spring. Certainly having Windsor here for the Vader presentation and the time of year that it was a lot more conducive to that kind of event, but we'll definitely have something ready to go.
Anything else for the open forum? All right, seeing none. So we will move into closed meeting, subject to approval by the board. But the items that we wish to discuss related to the section 44, subsection 2 of the CSPA, items related to the security of the property of the board, personal matter about an identifiable individual, including members of the police service or any other employees of the board, labor relations or employee negotiations, and finally, a position, plan, procedure, criteria, or instruction to be applied to any negotiations carried on or to be carried on by or on behalf of the board. With that, I'll look for a motion to adjourn to closed session. Board Member Gillis and Board Member Ash, all those in favor? Okay, we're adjourned. We'll take a no media to